Greetings everybody, Guy McMonstermaker here with a new tutorial, and it's kind of an update on one that I had posted some time ago, and this is going to be on how to rescale geometry that may shift in size when you are doing any sort of adjustments or modifications to an asset or a sculpture in this case. So here is my latest statue. It is a Jaws display, and this water here can be in clear resin or opaque paint, what have you. Anyway, I've already created the first two prototypes in various sizes, and well, they are able to be produced, normally enough. There are some issues moving forward that I would like to avoid in terms of, having to do extra work and stuff. So the way that this is laid out is we have the head here, and I made a more pronounced peg. The first one was very, very faint, and then I also adjusted the peg that the Kittner boy body goes into. This I didn't need to adjust. I made this a little deeper, and then I made this peg a little bit deeper to go into here. Anyway, just little minor adjustments that'll make production easier once we start to make more than a few, because what ends up happening is if you have a piece that, when you're working out the prototypes, sometimes you have to do like extra work with extra tools in order to get everything to work properly. So anyway, the long story short is, now that we've adjusted it all, we've got it all decimated and ready to go. So we're just going to go ahead and start to export these things. So we're going to go to the 3D print hub. Actually, before we do that, let's go ahead and make sure that we have all these named properly. So Jaws 02, because this is version 2. Shark, we'll rename that to head. And boy, title, wave, we'll just rename that to, or water, we'll just name that to water. And we will call this the base. Rename base. Okay, now one more thing that we can do, I like to usually do this for a lot of my pieces, is we'll go ahead and we'll duplicate the base here, hold shift, click the eye, and we'll isolate just this. And now let's go ahead and we're going to grab our knife slice tool, and let's do it this way. Let's slice up. Alright, so now we got rid of that, and we just need to get a nice little flat plane here. Alright, so now let's go ahead and we will slice down here as well. Just get a nice little plastic bottom for this piece, since we're here anyway. And now we won't need to do any sort of modifications after the drainage holes and stuff are produced. So this will be the bottom of the statue. Now, let's go ahead and turn on the base. And then we're just going to slowly lower this right about there, just so we get a good visual representation of what it'll look like. It should be fine like that. And that's basically going to be the plastic piece that goes underneath where we're going to put the little feet for the statue. So now that we got that done, let's go ahead and rename that. Okay, rename base bottom. Alright, now a lot of these are extra steps, but trust me, we're going somewhere with this. Alright, so this piece here, this is basically, whenever we do our naming conventions in ZBrush, when you save, the thing at the top is always going to be named the file. So this serves two purposes. One, it keeps all of the naming convention for all of the remaining assets that are sculpted underneath. It doesn't change the naming, which is important. especially when you're working with multiple, chunks of an asset that need assembly, etc. So that's one thing. The other thing is this acts as a scale for the asset. Now, in this case, we can see that it looks like it's slightly off now that we added that little base at the bottom, but that's fine. So now that we got that done, we can go ahead and just come up to the tip of the nose, slice that, come down to the bottom of the base, slice that, and now it is the correct height. We're talking like half a millimeter or whatever, but trust me, when you are working with assets that need to key in together, it matters. All the little decimals and everything, that stuff really matters. So you have to pay attention to that. Now we have this all done. We're just going to go ahead and save it really quick. So let's save this. Now we're going to go to 3D Print Hub. We are going to go to Export STL. In theory, it should export them exactly the same, but it probably won't. Alright, so we're going to go to choice number 2. It's going to export all of the different files, and now they are in a folder ready to be brought into Chitubox. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump into there really quick. Okay, now I am here inside of Chitubox Pro, and we are going to take all of these assets. No, actually, we're just going to take the pillar asset. Okay. And we are going to move this off to this side. That's going to be the second one that we have to work with here. And then we're going to go to my folder with version 1. We're going to bring this one in. Alright, now as you can see, obviously the sizes are quite different, and we need them to work together. So in other words, like say there were some assets in version 1 that were perfectly fine, that keyed in fine, worked fine, and then there were some updated ones in version 2 that we needed to adjust, or maybe we just want to maintain the size and volume simply just for consistency's sake, right? So this is the new version here, this is the old version. Now we already know that for, say, the small version of this, which is what we'll be working with first, the scale is 65.00%. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go to scale. We're going to input that right here, and that gives us 65%, which puts the y-axis as 86.29%. So we're going to select that, hit Control-C, copy that, come over to our new piece here, and we are going to enter that in. Now, you'll see that they should be, in theory, lining up 1 to 1. Okay, so now we know that for the small version of this asset, on version 2, the scale is going to be at 339.72%. So, Control-C. Off camera here, I have a file that I'm typing into that will tell me the scale I need in order to keep this consistent. So that will be small underscore Control-V is the percentage. Okay, so now we have to do the exact same thing for the remaining assets. So we're going to take this one again, we'll move it off to the side. Now this one here, we're going to go to large. No, we'll start from small all the way to large. So medium is simply 100%. So we'll go to scale, 100 and 100%, which puts the y-axis height at 132.75. Again, Control-C, come over here, Control-V, and that puts our medium-sized height at 522.64. Hit Control-C. Alright, and then we will once again go into the new folder with the new reference. Medium, MED underscore Control-V, 522.64. Okay, and then lastly, we will come over to the large, and the large is 165% scale. So we'll go to 165, enter, and now we'll go back to scale. In the y-axis, that's 219.04, Control C, come over here, Control V, and now they are the same height, putting this scale percentage at 862.36, Control C, and once again, and here just to show you. So now we're going into version 2, come over here, text, large, underscore, Control V, and there we go. So now we have all of the scaling inputs for all of these pieces. Okay, so I'm going to move these out of the way. We can now take this and just discard these two pieces, and I will show you the rests. Excuse me. So now we're going to take the water, take the title, head, boy, base, bottom, and base. Okay, so now we'll drop these all in. And we will see all the different, this is just Chitubox giving us a bunch of input crap we don't need. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and select all. We know that the small, according to version 2, is 339.72. So come back over here, go to percentage, Control V, 339.72, and we now have our small assets ready to go, ready to be hollowed, etc., etc. So there you have it. Basically, that's the same method you would do to, get any of the sizes from small all the way up to large, and that's it. And that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you found this useful. Sorry if it felt like it took too long. These videos are free, and I am taking time out of my workday to share them with you to try and help. So if it's too long and you don't like it, tough shit. That's about it. This is Guy McMonstermaker saying thanks very much for watching, and take care.